Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews podcast here on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Another cool car. We've got a 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8, and it's in a really rare color. It's called Green with Envy, not just Granny Smith apple green, but green with envy.
The neat thing about this 11 is that when the Challengers re-emerged in 2008,
The SRT8 was offered with a 6.1 liter engine. This 2011 is the first year of the 6.4 liter. You can see there's a 392 badge on the fender. If you don't see it in the video, certainly you can see it in our detailed listing. It's going to be lot 208 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. So 392 is the cubic inch equivalent of the 6.4 liters, the metric reading. Okay, so what we're going to do today, I'll start it up. I'll wait till I start it. I don't see the odometer because it's digital. I'm going to start it up. We'll pop the hood, take a little listen to the engine, and then the pipes, and then I'll grab the camera. We'll get up close to the exterior. So first thing I'll do is I'll turn the ignition to the on position before starting it, and I'll let you know the mileage. I know it's under 119,000. So with the ignition on, it's just busted 118,000. Right now, 118,065. So this car is going to its new owner with under 119,000 kilometers. So here comes the start. Nice, easy start, and we'll get up close to it pretty soon. But if you hear a rumble, you expected a V8 rumble, I'm sure, from the 6.4, but this has got an aftermarket Mopar branded, so the Chrysler parts brand, aftermarket Mopar exhaust. So it's really got some girth. So I'll hop out and we'll grab the camera, take a closer look at the engine. I'll pop the hood. So you can see the hood's open a crack there. I have activated the release from inside the cabin of the car, and now there's a release here. Pretty easy to do with one hand because there's no prop rod in this car. Just a release, and then the hydraulics take it from here. So shaker hood on this car. It's branded right up there. That is a real rarity on this car, and there's a neat powered by SRT logo over here showing off that 6.4 liter. The horsepower rating on the car, 470 horsepower, so not lazy at all with this 6.4 engine. The torque rating is the same number, 470 pound-feet. And that air filter is looking aftermarket. I'll speak to the owner and we'll get that clarified for you too. We'll have it clarified certainly on our detailed listing. So watch for it there as lot 208. So pretty smooth on the idle, nice and quiet. You do get to hear the roar though when you start to open up that throttle. Stock wheels. Might be important to note that previous owner had a set of custom wheels on it with different size tires. So these wheels have traveled less than the 118,000 currently seen on the car. So let's get a listen to this exhaust. There's Mopar branding on the very top of the exits here. And then dual exits on either side, so dual exhaust with the twin exits on each side. So I'll shut that engine off, and we'll take a closer look at the exterior. Another look at that shaker logo to denote the special hood on this car. Okay, so again, the color, a rare color in a Challenger, green with envy. We're gonna get the numbers for this spec onto the detailed listing. So you'll see that there as lot 208. And between the color of green with envy and the manual transmission, this is a pretty rare spec, we'll say. But otherwise, the front is a stock look with that front spoiler. The dual headlamps. I might have skipped by this a little too quickly. A neat SRT badge here at the front, on the front grille. There's a good look with the shaker hood with it closed. And then here are these stock wheels, as I say, with the lower miles. If we take a closer look at these brakes, we can see Brembo calipers. They're Brembos at all four corners, and the discs at all four corners are vented. Just to continue along with the sporty theme of this car, and I talked about the 392 cubic inches. So that's the imperial measure equivalent of the 6.4. So 392 Hemi, large and in charge. We see the same emblem on the other side of the car, and pretty clean exterior. I'm having trouble finding any dents or dings or even scratches or imperfections. Quite a clean car. The owner was just shammying it up as we arrived at his place earlier. I think it was already clean. There might have been some pollen in the air that he was trying to clean off for the camera. So there's another good look at that exhaust exit. It does look a little more aggressive than the stock piece, which would be about the same shape but without the divider in the center. If you look inside, you can see it's a single exit that's just divided by that bar in the center, the vertical bar in the center. Another SRT8 badge here. And then of course it's got the tail light lensing all the way across. The reverse light is here in the center with a Dodge logo in center of that. SRT8 aficionados probably aren't used to seeing this badge. I'll show you more closely when we're inside the car, but a Hurst shifter has been fitted to this car. And I have not driven the car, but just to get inside the car, to put it into neutral when we started it with the parking brake on, I could feel that it was a really short shift, much shorter and quicker than the stock unit. Another neat touch, as most of our viewers will know, this Challenger, which started in 2008, again, this is a 2011 model, the only year actually with the green with envy color. But certainly it was a nod to the nostalgic Challengers of the 70s. Our close followers will recall that in 2005, the Mustang went to sort of a modern nostalgic look. With the 05 model year. Took a couple of years for Chrysler to catch up, but here it is with the Challenger. So in 08, they got their first Challenger SRT8s released, and there were only 500 in Canada, and they were all embossed with a 500 badge on the front grille. But what I was getting to is there are a number of appointments on the car that are kind of a nod to the original Challenger, this fuel door among them. So it just flips open, and it's this pretty standard fuel door underneath. There are pictures of it with the cap removed. I won't remove the cap for the sake of the video, but we do have photos of it removed on the detailed listing. So just working our way around the green with envy 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8. I did show the Brembo caliper up front on the other side, just to erase any doubt for any of the viewers. There we've got the Brembo branded caliper in the rear as well, and again with vented discs here in the rear. The tires are a set of Goodyear Eagle F1 tires. I think that is the stock tire. So I was saying earlier how the previous owner ran the car with a different set of rims. So it might be that these are the original tires to the car, but definitely not with the, they definitely haven't rolled 118,000 kilometers. So let's get a little closer to the inside and we'll take a look. I didn't show off the sunroof, but yeah, I equipped with a power one-touch sunroof, and I should probably do a better job of showing off that black stripe. So it goes the length of the car here, as you see. And I suppose it's interrupted a little bit for the addition of the shaker hood, but black all the way to the front, down to that black splitter even. And there's that SRT badge right there and the dual headlight look. So to the inside, Neat aluminum door sill here with the Challenger embossing. Very well optioned car. Very well optioned car. There's some of the power switches, mirrors, locks, windows, and the finish here on the door. I'm not sure if it's Alcantara or suede, but it's one or the other. And then the seats themselves, leather on the bolsters here, and leather up here where this SRT badge is with the green stripe. And then inside of here, it's that same suede as we saw on the door card. The most worn floor mats here, these Challenger floor mats, those are an aftermarket sort of designer piece. The standard Dodge ones are underneath. 3 pedals, of course, for the manual transmission, 6-speed. And I'll climb into the driver's seat, turn the key to the on position so we can get a look at some of the accessories sort of in action. So the speedometer up to 300 kilometers an hour. Note that it's the dominant measures kilometers an hour, so a Canadian market car. And attack to 8,000 RPM with a 6250, give or take, tachometer, a red line on the tachometer. So I think I mentioned earlier 475 horsepower and 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Fuel gauge over here and a water temp gauge here. Underneath, you can see there's a flat bottom to each of these round gauges. So there's a digital display under each of them. That check engine light and parking brake light are just on. Well, the parking brake is engaged, but the engine light's just on because we have it on in the on position without the car running. Actually, for your peace of mind, I'll start the car. Make sure that engine light disappears. So you can see after I started it, no more check engine light. So there's the Uconnect system for the infotainment. I'm gonna shut down the car again. Owner thinks I'm going nuts now, starting his car over and over. He's just about 50 feet away. But there is a nav system on here as well. AM, FM with the, you can see the HDD for the hard disk drive, a CD and an auxiliary input, which is right in here, right down here. And then continuing on with electronics, there's a 12-volt outlet. We've got heated seat controls here, 4 ways, and that's to turn off the traction control. But with 470 ponies at your feet, maybe you want to keep that traction control on. Here's the biggest aftermarket piece supplementing the Mopar exhaust. I showed you earlier, it's got the Hurst emblem on the rear deck, and here's the Hurst shifter. 6-speed, as I say, and the reverse is up in the top right. But I'll try to demonstrate the action of the shifter. As I say, I haven't driven the car. I was just moving the shifter around to get it into neutral for startup. But these gears, the travel between gears is very short, so you can get from one gear to the other very quickly. And then over here, we've got another SRT badge, Challenger SRT badge, nice glove box. There are some seat belt pads here for each of the front passengers, cup holder, and there's a console with some storage, but there's some personal items of the owners that I don't want to get into. Nice, neat 3-spoke steering wheel. I guess the bottom I'll call a double spoke. We've got infotainment controls on this side, and then the cruise control operations done on this side. I like those aluminum pedals. 3 pedals, of course, for the manual transmission. We'll hop out. We'll take a look at the rear seat. So you pop that up to get the rear seat up. You can see that seat is equipped with an airbag. Same with on the other side. But compared to a Mustang or a Camaro, I would say that this rear seat is a little more generous. I picked those cars because I would suggest that they are the GM and Ford competitors. You can see also there's a middle seat belt, and it's a shoulder belt. And in the center, we've got a picture of it down in the detailed listing, but as you see, there's an armrest there for the rear passengers, and there are even hookups there if you wanted to connect or attach a child seat. baby seat, for lack of a better term. And the trunk as well is quite generous. And there's a soft release right here for the trunk. So here we go. As I say, quite a large trunk. Of course, this car was built on the same platform as a Charger, which is a pretty considerably sized four-door sedan. We've got sub here for the kicker sound system. And having been around these cars a little bit, I can attest to them having a real boomer of a sound system. Now down here, there's no spare in place, but you can see there's a compressor there made at the ready for in case the run flat tires needed to be reinflated. We'll get a little look at the underside. Owner tells us no winters for this car, and certainly that look at the underside would attest to that claim. Take a look at it at the other side as well. But pretty nice clean underside if you ask me. We don't really see the front, so I'll make my way to the front and I'll show you the underside looking back from the front as well. It's a little tighter with this low spoiler, but here's a little look at the underside from the front, so nice and clean. So I think that gives you a good look from front to back of this 2011 Challenger SRT8 in green with envy. I'll jump back into the driver's seat and we'll do a close. So that's a good look at our 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8. Again, the 2011 is the first year of the SRT8 having a 6.4 liter engine. It got bumped up from the 6.1 in the previous year. 6.1 was no slouch, but this 6.4, 470 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. This car is equipped with a 6-speed manual transmission. As I showed you, the shifter's been upgraded to a Hurst unit, and it's a really short travel between gears with that Hurst unit. Again, a real rarity. In addition to the nice upgrade to a 6.4 for 2011, green with envy in color, and we've got a black interior. There's a little charcoal in here, but a very dark interior. But yeah, you'll find this car, lot 208 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8 with the 6.4 liter V8, under 119,000 kilometers. And this car for Ontario buyers is going with a safety. So yeah, bid with confidence. This one is going to make the new owner happy. I just know it. Take a look at our detailed listing. Hear the engine running at load, and the sound, the rumble with that Mopar exhaust is almost intoxicating. Thank you for watching.